This is one of those moments where the Dallas Cowboys don't even have to be playing for the entire football world to stop and stare. As the NFL postseason kicks off, as the spotlight turns to teams chasing a Super Bowl, First Take suddenly explodes, and once again, the Cowboys are the center of the storm. Stephen A. Smith didn't just criticize Jerry Jones, he questioned his legacy, his vision, and whether the most powerful owner in sports will ever get back to the top of the mountain. Let's be real. Jerry Jones has built the most valuable franchise in all of sports. Billions in value, global reach, unmatched brand power. But Stephen A. said what a lot of people are afraid to say out loud. None of that guarantees championships. And when Jerry talks about wanting to retire as the owner with the most Super Bowls ever, Stephen A. didn't hesitate. He said that dream is over, that it's not happening, that Jerry will never catch the great dynasties of the modern era. That's a heavy statement, because this isn't about money. You can't buy Lombardis. You can't purchase fulfillment in January and February. And according to Stephen A., the reason the Cowboys keep coming up short starts at the very top. Ownership decisions, timing, public messaging, control, the spotlight that never turns off. Then comes the Dak Prescott debate, and this is where things get even more intense. Stephen A. tried to place some responsibility on Dak, not for performance, but for leadership behind closed doors. The idea that maybe the quarterback should push back harder, demand more, challenge the direction of the franchise. But the counterargument hits just as hard. Dak Prescott held that locker room together. Dak played at an MVP level. Dak kept this team competitive when the defense struggled and key weapons were missing. If anything, this season showed Dak's growth as a leader, not his failure. And that's what makes this conversation so explosive, because even the critics admit it, the Cowboys aren't that far off. This roster isn't broken, this team isn't irrelevant. There are only a handful of organizations in the NFC clearly ahead. Dallas is still right there, on the edge, stuck between potential and frustration. So when Stephen A. questions Jerry Jones's legacy, it cuts deep. Not because the Cowboys are hopeless, but because they're close. Close enough to hurt. Close enough to keep the expectations alive. Close enough to make every January feel heavier than the last. This isn't just another hot take. This is a mirror being held up to the most famous franchise in football. Are the Cowboys being held back by loyalty, by control, by a voice that never stops talking? Or is this finally the era where all the pieces come together and prove everyone wrong? Cowboys Nation, this is bigger than one debate. This is about identity, direction, and whether the next chapter of Dallas football finally matches its history. Drop your thoughts below, hit like, subscribe, and let the debate roll on.